I was counting down to retirement like it was the golden ticket. Freedom at last, right? But for 4 months in, I started wondering if I'd made a terrible mistake. Look, I'm 63 now. I'd stepped away from a career that defined me for 3 decades. I expected slower mornings, more time with my coffee, maybe finally reading all those books collecting dust on my shelf. But I didn't expect the emptiness. This feeling like floating through my days without an anchor. And if you're watching this, chances are you're either heading towards retirement yourself or you're already there, wondering why it doesn't feel like the paradise everybody promised. Welcome to the Unretired, where you're not done, but you're finally doing what you want. If you felt that unexpected emptiness after retirement, hit the like and subscribe button. Okay, let's get into this. Let's talk about the 3 signs that you're in the trap. First, the lion trap. The first sign hit me in week 2. I woke up naturally, no alarm, screaming at me for the first time in decades. It felt incredible. I loved it. So I stayed in bed, I scrolled through my phone, watched the morning slip away. By 10 a.m., something had shifted. That initial relief that I felt, well, it kind of morphed into this creeping flatness. It's the best way I can describe it. Like the day was already over before it began. It wasn't laziness, it was really emptiness. For 30 years, my alarm wasn't just waking me up. It actually had given me a sense of purpose. Without it, I was just existing. Our brains are wired for external structure. When we remove that framework without replacing it, motivation doesn't just decrease, it can completely evaporate. The lion, laying there in bed, it feels good for a moment, but it's actually feeding the trap. Take a look at this Kiplinger article about the first year of retirement rule. They found that this initial 12-month period sets the tone both financially and emotionally for your entire retirement experience. According to Scott Vandenberg, president of Century Management, old routines fall away and new habits, good or bad, start to take hold. They're basically saying that without intentional structure, the honeymoon phase of retirement can quickly turn into something a lot darker. Next is the Flatlined List. For months before retiring, I had just mapped out all the projects I finally wanted to tackle. Like I said, writing a book, fine-tuning my golf game, learning videography for this channel. The lists were ambitious and hopeful. And 3 months in, well, the pages of those books stayed empty. The golf lessons didn't help. I didn't really take any. And I forgot about videography for almost a year. And other random and unproductive projects also just went by the wayside. Work isn't just about the paycheck. It trains our brains to act. Deadlines, decisions, daily demands, our minds become conditioned for momentum. Remove those training wheels and suddenly you've got this beautiful space, tools in hand, but no engine to drive them. Take a look at this study. It found that when the role of your job and the structure of your job vanish, many retirees experience an existential vacuum, a feeling of total aimlessness and even emptiness. I also found this article that highlighted how procrastination increases sharply when stress or routine is removed, or having longer deadlines can possibly leave people totally stuck despite their intention. So task lists alone aren't enough. You need deliberate systems, built-in routines, public commitments, or small scheduled milestones that help you reignite that sense of motion that you once had. The third thing is feeling too slow. The wake-up call wasn't laziness. It was the absence of structure that my mind had depended on for 30 years. The website MarketWatch even warns that without a new life framework, retirees can fall into depression. Then came the flatline project list. No progress, just a blank page. Karen Lamb once said, "A year from now, you may wish that you'd already started today." Well, standing there, surrounded by half-finished dreams, I finally got it. Starting doesn't require motivation, you just literally need to start. A single step is enough to start a walk. And during a simple walk, it suddenly hit me. I was no longer moving at my adult pace. I was only moving at the 5 miles an hour instead of the 90-mile-an-hour pace of my career. And that's when I realized retirement is not vacation. It's very different than a vacation. It's a transition that demands a whole new rhythm. So, which of these 3 signs resonated with you? The endless mornings, the blank project list, or feeling like you're moving in slow motion? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to hear what hits home for you. So why does this happen? Why does retirement feel like a trap when it's supposed to be this wonderful phase of freedom? Well, for decades, our minds have been wired for challenge, routine, pressure. These things trigger dopamine, that neurochemical that makes us feel alive, motivated, and purposeful. Work provided structure, yes, but it also provided what psychologists call external validation cycles. Someone needed something from us every day, so we solved problems which made us matter. So you remove that system and your brain goes into what I call a purpose withdrawal. It's not just boredom in a sense, but a neurochemical shift that can leave you feeling empty, restless, and questioning everything. What's the good news? This isn't permanent, but escaping the trap requires intentional action. You have to build new systems, new rituals, new ways to generate that sense of momentum your brain craves, your brain needs. Okay, let's talk about how we get out of this trap now. Solution number one is building intentional rhythm. I now wake up between 6:30 and 7, coffee, email, news at 7, walk at 8, side hustle projects, coaching and YouTubing at 9. It's nothing rigid. I'm not running a military operation here, but it is predictable. So basically, our brain needs timing anchors. For 30 years, your schedule decided for you. And now you have to decide for yourself. And that decision fatigue can actually be a little bit paralyzing. An intentional rhythm gives your brain the structure it craves and needs, replacing inertia with movement. And I'm not talking about cramming your day full of activities. Rather, it's about creating a framework that makes you feel like you're moving forward and not just floating. Okay, solution number two is pick one get up and go project. I chose to make a video every week. Nothing fancy, just me, my camera, and whatever thoughts are bouncing around in his head. But it feels purposeful, more than a hobby, less than a job. The key is finding what makes you feel alive. Maybe it's volunteering at a local library. Maybe it's learning woodworking. Maybe it's starting that podcast you always dreamed about, or maybe even getting a part-time job. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to change the world. It just has to be yours. Something that gives you a reason to get up, get dressed, and engage with life beyond your four walls. Solution number three is add some accountability to your life. Sometimes I share my weekly routine with a friend once a week. It's almost like the one-on-ones you did with either an employee or your boss or something like that when you were still working. We talk about what I accomplished, what I struggled with, what I'm planning for in the coming weeks. It was kind of a nudge I needed. I also started teaching a life coach how to build their business, and in return, that person became my life coach. So that was also really helpful too. Basically, the voice of other people expecting you helps pull you out of rumination. It's external structure, but gentler than a boss breathing down your neck. It's someone who cares about your progress, not your productivity. So find somebody, a friend, family member, even a retirement group, and make a simple commitment. Check in weekly. Share your wins, your struggles. You'd be amazed at how much this simple act can change your relationship with your days. If you're navigating retirement or preparing for it, hit the subscribe for more no-nonsense conversations about what really matters after 60. I share fresh insights on retirement mindset and lifestyle every week without the hype or fluff you see everywhere else. Because let's be honest, we don't have time to waste on anything less than being authentic. Look, retirement isn't meant to trap you, but without intention, it absolutely can turn into one. I'm 3 years in now, and while I miss the old energy sometimes, the rush of deadlines, the satisfaction of solving problems and being needed by an organization or people, well, I'm creating a new rhythm, one that's quieter, but it's still alive, and one that's mine. So if you're in this trap right now, know this: you're not broken, you're not ungrateful, you're just human. And humans need purpose, structure, and forward motion to thrive. The golden years aren't the golden years because they're easy. They're golden because they're yours to design. So design them intentionally, starting today. What's your first step gonna be?